or something at the bid, but that does not happen until the very late fall, when Orange and Rockland have their crew come in and meet with us, so we can go pick them out one by one to see which ones they can take down. That way we do not end up paying for it and we get it done for nothing, so please be patient.
And I forgot one other item, in terms of the lawsuit against the town. There was some items served on us past Friday, I believe, and I don't know if the board wants to go into executive session later in the meeting to discuss those items. That's up to the board.
Yeah, I think
there are some time frames by which I have to respond. So
yeah, so we'll be going into executive session, and we won't be taking any action after that, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so we'll do executive session at the end of the meeting after we hear from our citizens' comments, not to hold them up at all. Okay, we'll open the floor for citizen comments. This is good. You always go around. You should pick a number before the meeting starts.
There's a time limit.
Just briefly on the question of the photograph, Kyle, if you'll email that to us, we'll post it with the videos so people can see it.
Sure.
And for anybody that wants to see a hard copy, if you just go down to CVS at the kiosk, you can print them out for, I don't know, 20, 25 cents a piece.
Oh, Mal's doing it for free.
But I mean, it's like a real photograph. They're cheap. I have two questions in the legal department tonight. There was a news article indicating that the group opposing abortion plans to demonstrate on the 22nd of September. We all know this has come up before and that there has been legal action involving the village. I'd like to ask if it is legally feasible, and if you would consider a move to prohibit demonstration within residential neighborhoods.
We already have that on the books.
Yeah.
It's already on the books, Joel.
So that was the center of the previous lawsuit.
I thought just recently they did have a demonstration on South Street, did they not?
They did.
Well, they're allowed to, subject to our regulations. You cannot, the court will not allow us to blanket prohibit those types of gatherings. We can regulate them to a degree, and our local law is found to be constitutional, but we cannot prohibit them.
Which means that they have to keep moving.
They
cannot park in front of one.
So there's no prohibition within residential neighborhoods?
No, that's not what was said.
It's regulated, not prohibited. It could not be prohibited. It can be regulated to a degree.
So you could have disturbance of peace issues while allowing...
That exists separate and apart from someone's ability to what we call picket or march. If it rises to the level of criminal activity, then that would be evaluated, but yes.
Okay. And that is my concern, that there be quiet enjoyment issues in residential neighborhoods. And whatever the village can do to, obviously we've faced this before, but whatever we can do to continue to keep that under rein. And it has nothing to do with this particular, I want to be clear about this, it has nothing to do with the ideological issues here. I don't care if it's pro or anti, whether it's religious group X or Y, or political group X or Y, whether it's the LaRouches or,
just so you know, over the past several months, probably been a half a dozen times that they've already done this.
Right, okay. The second issue was something that came up, that I brought up earlier in the year. I was wondering if we could have an update, an enumeration of the litigations, both by and against the village, status, brief status, and to the extent possible, if you could indicate what those litigations might entail.
If the board wants me to do that, I can prepare that. I think the board's well aware of a couple items of litigation.
Well, this is for the public, not the board.
Right, but I work for the board.
Well, why don't we discuss that when we go into executive session, since it regards... That be appropriate?
I don't think it's an appropriate discussion for executive session. I'm just asking for a listing of a public record. What litigations are we involved in?
What's your problem with it?
I don't have a problem with it.
Well, here's what I don't want to do. What I don't want to do is miss something, forget something, and I mean, it's a board, and you know, it's a nuance, but it's important to me. I mean, I work for the board, so if the board says go ahead and do that, then I'm happy to go ahead and do that. I can prepare a written list of active items of litigation that involve the village, which I don't think there are two, but I hesitate to say that only because I will turn 50 this year. Perhaps I forgot one or more.
All right, so why don't you do that, Dave? Prepare it, we'll have it for the next public meeting.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not looking to stir mud here, I'm just looking for a public record of what litigations we're involved in. Is the Epsilon suit still ongoing?
Yes, the Epsilon suit is still ongoing. I was in contact with their attorney as recently as Friday. They want to settle, but they have to get a proposal that I can communicate to the village board before that can happen.
Without saying what you can't say, can you describe what the nature of their claim is?
They don't want to pay their bill. I don't, as best as I can evaluate based upon their papers.
Based on a failure to meet terms that were promised to them, or some
no, they claim there's some physical issue with the meter.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Joe. Anybody else have any questions?
Oh, there was one other thing, I'm sorry. Ed, at the meeting, I don't know if it was the last regular session or the one prior, delivered a police report that was cursory. Yet in the press release that was supplied to the Indy, it discussed a rash of, I believe, graffiti and vandalism along the Golden Hill, in that area of Golden Hill. Earlier in the summer, there was a rash of break-ins there, with about, if memory serves, 35 or 40 deaths. Was there a resolution of that outbreak? Did they ever catch anybody or pursue that? And is there any suggestion that the two are related?
I will talk to the chief about those and get back to you only because I don't know the status of the investigations. You know, I can't comment that there's an ongoing.
Nobody was ever charged?
I don't. I didn't say that, so I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
And we should just indicate that's regarding litigation with the town of
The
Goshen.
town of Goshen.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And we will, if we don't business after the meeting, adjourn.